Hello, and welcome to the movie Supreme Court, where all movies will be judged and verdicts given. I am Noah, your movie Supreme Court Chief Justice, and with us today we have Judge Ellie and Judge James. This bench court trial is now in session. Today, on trial we have the BFG. Now, none of us have seen the movie yet, but we have all seen the previews and the trailers. So we're now prepared to give our opening statement. And I'll start off. This is a Steven Spielberg film. One it seems like he's been working on for a long time now. And now it's coming to life, really one of his babies. And I see something special in this movie. I will be honest, at first, it seemed like something that was really nothing. But the more I started to see trailers, the more trailers I saw, I started to see the specialness of it. And some more story, and some more insight, and some more character understanding. That I think this is really one to pay attention to. That's what I think about the BFG. Judge Ellie, what's your opening statement?
Well, the first thing I thought was it's based on a Roald Dahl book. And if you're unfamiliar with Dahl, he is a legend in literature, in children's literature. And he is also very quirky and can be a little dark. So just based on the trailer, I knew it was going to be, I know it's going to be a treat to see because, as you mentioned, Steven Spielberg is involved and he is the director helming this movie, and he is a giant in the industry. So I'm really anxious to see this movie.
Judge James, what's your opening statement?
I only have one thing to say, Spielberg. I'm an 80s baby. And I remember all the movies that Spielberg has made and produced. I'm taking one in particular, E.T. Who didn't love E.T.? You know, the little big finger glowing in the dark and all that. And that, that brings a real sentimental and nostalgic feel to what I believe he produced and what he made. And the BFG has the potential to possibly maybe do that. Even though it's an animated movie, E.T. was, obviously you're dealing with people. But I still believe that what it's doing, it's weird, a giant kidnapping a kid. When I first saw the trailer, I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. But the more I watched it, and then I actually watched the trailer again, and again, I watched it, and again, and again. So, so clearly, it must have touched something in me. And I really like what it presented. And I really think that Spielberg might have hit another one with this one.
I want to let you audience in on something. Today is our inaugural show. And what better way to start this season than to talk about a Steven Spielberg film. I'm proud, and I think we're all proud to talk about a Steven Spielberg film. So now let's get into some arguments. What really do you think about this movie? Like, what grasps your imagination in this movie?
Well, the movie trailer is dark, and even though the movie is, I assume, centered for children, focused on children, it seems and appears dark. There is a child involved, and different themes of loneliness and despair and seemingly danger, and that's right up Dahl's avenue as a writer of children's fiction. So, sort of, even though it's sort of billed as a children's film, I think certain children probably shouldn't see it, or at least the parents should make sure that their child is mature enough to see a movie with sort of dark themes as this film probably has.
Now, what I'm curious to see, oh, let me take it back. I actually like the idea that this giant, from the previews, that steals this child, is not really a giant compared to others. It's almost like playing on that whole, well, I mean, it's all about perspective. Because at any given moment, you could be the underdog. Someone else can be better than you. You're not the end all to the end all. There's probably somebody that's bigger than you, stronger than you, smarter than you. But should that still stop you? Should that still keep you from moving forward? I really feel like this movie has an opportunity to really tackle some very tough conversations and some difficult issues that children face all the time.
So you think it's worth it to bring your young child to see?
I think this movie is one that a family should see together, because I believe that there's going to be conversations that's going to be had after this movie. So this isn't one of those movies, parents, that I believe that you should just send your child to while you go to see another movie. I really believe that this movie is one you're going to want to watch as well, so that you can be a part of that conversation of growing up, of representing yourself, or standing up for yourself, or facing bullies, or I mean, I think there's so much to that so many good conversations going to come out of this movie that I think a family should go see this movie.
There's definitely an anti-bullying. I don't know if it's consciously, if Spielberg consciously put that in there or unconsciously, but there's definitely an anti-bullying. You know, a giant kidnaps a little kid. The giant turns out, yeah, those guys are basically other giants compared to him.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it looks, you know, clearly he's not supposed to have any kind of, you know, they say, oh, you got a pet, you know, and that right there really hinted at bullying or some form of some kind of intimidation or adversity.
Mm-hmm.
And this, yes, I'm
Or dehumanizing.
exactly. The degradation. I'm definitely in agreement with you on this one that the entire family should be there for this one. This is rated G, right?
I don't think the trailer said or stated what
I'm not
was rated.
That's a good question.
I mean,
I wonder if it is rated G.
Yes, I mean, because
Because if it isn't, then it goes to Judge Ellie's point that maybe all children should be seeing this film.
Yeah.
But if it is, then maybe.
I just remember as a child reading Dahl's books, and I've always loved dark books as a kid. I didn't care what, if it was scary or frightening. I just loved that sort of fiction. And so thinking about some of his other books, like The Witches and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, it is dark, and there is some elements of despair and loneliness and danger and even some horror. So I was thinking maybe sort of young children, maybe younger than 5 or 6, that wouldn't necessarily understand. But I do agree that all families, or at least the whole family unit, should see a film of this nature, so that when questions arise, and they will, from the child, the parent's right there, or the caregiver is right there to discuss what's going on and to give an explanation as to why these things are happening.
So, you've heard our statements. You've heard our opinions. Now we get to the real that you want to know. What's our verdict? So, what is your verdict? Judge Ellie, will you see this movie and why?
I will definitely see this movie. I think it has all of the elements in a film that I would want to see. It seemingly has, like I said, a giant in the industry, Steven Spielberg, that will put his own spin onto this very old story of a child that's seemingly lonely and bored, and she gets taken to this other universe in a sense and sort of finds herself. So I'm very interested in seeing this film, even though this type of story has been told over and over again. I think Steven Spielberg will bring his own spin to it, and I'm excited.
Judge James, will you see this movie and why?
I would definitely see this movie. The nostalgic, maybe I'm stuck in nostalgia, sentimentality, whatever, nostalgia. I'm definitely going to see this movie. I believe, like I said, what it can bring, his potential that Spielberg has. I believe that it's definitely something that's going to get knocked out the box, especially in light of the kind of year the movies are having for superhero movies, are just killing it. I don't know what else really, from a box office point of view, is really knocking superhero movies out of the box. So to see this, I'm like, oh, this might be one. How many $100 million movies have we had already this year that are non-superhero movies? And I believe this might be one of them. I'm definitely going to see it. This definitely gets a not guilty verdict on my end. I'm definitely going to see it. I won't see it now.
So, here's my verdict. I am going to see this movie, and I'm going to tell you why. I am curious. I am curious if this actually is going to succeed in an enormous way or be a flop. And here's my qualification for a flop. I believe, especially because it has the Spielberg stamp of approval, because he's the one that made it. If this movie does not make $500 million at the box office, it will be considered a failure. This isn't just any run-of-the-mill cartoon or animation. This is a Spielberg film. And the material looks so rich with potential here. So I'm expecting at least $500 million. But what I really expect it to do is hit $1 billion. This should be one of the next billion-dollar films that's coming out of Disney. Disney's on a roll. They are on a roll, and I don't think Steven Spielberg wants to be the one that's going to get in the way of that roll. That's why I want to see the movie. So, now you know our verdicts. What do you think? Do you agree or do you disagree? Please, let us know on the comment feed below, and also let us know your verdict. But until next time, we want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to watch us, and we hope to see you again. So until that time, on behalf of all the judges, this case